Welcome back, everybody, for this third and final hour of our introductory session. We have now introduced all four of our acolytes, and hopefully you have some idea of who they are and what their role within the within this cell of acolytes will be. Well, there is the wildcard Medea, and I'll continue to call her a wildcard because I sincerely think that's what she is.
Yep.
And I absolutely adore her for it. Anyway, so...
Follows her instincts. They're not always right.
Nope. So, you've all reached the tricorn, which is, as I mentioned in Medea's introduction, the seat of power for the Inquisition in the Calixis sector. It is where they they don't hang out there, but it is the main building for them. It's where they meet. It's where the Lord Inquisitor resides, and it is their main place within this sector. And I think we'll actually pick up the story with all four of you in the same room, which is, at least for Medea's, for Medea, it is a room unlike any she's ever seen. It's high enough to the ceiling that she imagined it could hold 10, 15 shanty towns on top of each other easily.
Waste of space.
And the room in the along the walls, the three of the four walls of this room are lined immense statues of saints and other important figures from the history of the Imperium. Certainly, Sister Francesca recognizes pretty much all of these, as would, I imagine, Accolon, most of them at least.
I might add that Medea took the lead as they were walking in, because fuck the sun.
Fuck the sun. Oh, is this another fuck Connell thing?
No.
She just dislikes it. She doesn't know what the fuck it is. So far, she's very certain it's a very big light bulb, and the woman just took the piss out of her. Because there gotta be a light switch somewhere.
So what happened was, as you all entered this room, you entered one by one, I should add. You were escorted into the room by a squadron of so-called stormtroopers clad in black carapace armor. Accolon have encountered these stormtroopers once already, and they escort each of you into this massive chamber, and you are seated at a pretty huge table, beautifully crafted, of some kind of dark wood, probably not local. It's probably been imported from another world, you imagine. Intricate carvings depicting various scenes of heroism, and you see the statues, the saints represented by these statues and holy figures are also represented in these scenes, carved into the table. The fourth wall isn't a wall as such. It's an immense window looking out over Hive Sibelius. And standing with her back to you is an all you can see of her is the long red cape she has, a cloak she has on her. and her head, the back of her head. She wears. She has long, black, curly hair, and she's standing, as I said, with her back to you, so you can't see any more details than that. The 6 stormtroopers remain standing behind you as you each are seated in a chair at this massive table, and they remain quiet. And do you remain quiet? You see each other. You see you 4 all sitting in at this table. You've never seen each other before, of course. Do you interact with each other in any way? Do you say anything? Do you do anything?
I definitely observe the others, trying to figure out what kind of people they are, but I haven't been given permission to speak, so.
Okay, so
unless we've been actually out and out instructed to sit, I think Francesca would probably be standing. It's a little easier in her attire.
You haven't been instructed to sit. It's you've been led to the chairs, standing at the table, but you haven't been.
Well, then she would stand behind hers rather than sitting down.
Okay.
I think Tim would do the same, actually.
Okay.
She can kneel fairly easily, but sitting down in power armor, I don't actually expect that to be super easy.
Very true. Very true. Okay, so
Medea will very solemnly look at whoever is closest and then go, "What are you in for?"
Okay, so let's pick one at random. Akalon, you're sitting beside Medea.
Medea isn't sitting down. She is inspecting the chair before she's sitting down on anything.
Okay, cool. But he is still the closest of the 3 others.
Okay. Whatever do you mean?
Did you shoot the wrong guy?
I promise you, I've committed no crime. At least not that I'm aware of.
She looks confused. Alright, then don't tell me. And then she saunters off to look at the statues.
Akalon looks perplexed, but otherwise...
She just gave away a lot of information about herself.
She did.
She doesn't really seem like she cares.
No, it's just Tim definitely noted it.
She's currently roaming the entire room, looking at stuff. At some point, trying to look under one of the saints' rocks, kind of skirts, to see if they actually made them anatomically correct.
They did. Excellent sculpting.
She then smirks and goes, "Tiny pecker," and moves on to the next.
You, at that point, you get a reaction, at least, out of Sister Francesca, who turns her head and looks towards the irreverent creature, and says, "Please do not insult the saints in my presence."
The what?
The saints.
She doesn't look like she's comprehending.
These people, these holy people, of whom we are standing amidst, please do not insult them in my presence.
They're saints?
They are saints.
What's a saint?
That I will explain to you once we have had our conversation with whom I assume is the Inquisitor.
It looks like she has another question, then looks at you, and then saunters away, because you look like you could punch her pretty severely.
So the individual standing at this panoramic window turns around, and for the first time you're able to see her features. She is an immensely beautiful woman. If you were to guess, you would place her age at around 30, maybe 40, but she is an inquisitor.
No way. No
she
way.
is an inquisitor.
Exactly.
And her beauty is marred by the piercing eyes that you have some feeling that were she so inclined, she could sear your souls just by looking at you. Her gaze is that penetrating, that
powerful.
Powerful, yes, indeed. And she too is dressed in a black body glove, much like one of her agents, and she walks toward the table you're all sitting or standing at. Some of you, at least. Medea has wandered off, and she makes a motion with her hand, and at that motion, two of the stormtroopers walk over to Medea and silently indicate for her to follow them.
She follows them.
Okay, they lead her back to the table and the chair.
Medea pouts.
Yes, Sister Francesca. We are indeed surrounded by saints and holy people.
I see the blessed form of Saint Drusus over there.
Yes, we do. Someone is typing. This is not the Inquisitor saying that. That's
No.
Someone is typing!
And then suddenly it's Monty Python sketch.
Exactly.
Is it only the major saints on display here, or
No, there are minor saints as well.
would Seth
Yes,
would
he's among them. He's among them.
I think at some point while in the proceedings, I say Taliesin. See, that's how bad it is. I'm still in the other game. Accolon.
Get ready this game, Accelerator.
Well,
Yeah, Accolon tries to jumps the table and tries to body tackle Medea. But no, he doesn't.
Yeah, that would probably be a bad idea.
No, he at some point makes a reverent. It makes reverence to Seth particularly at some point, but also the other saints, obviously.
I think, since we're in a different sector entirely, I think it's pretty safe to assume, thankfully, that there is nobody up there amongst the saints with any any family resemblance to Francesca.
No, there is not. There is not.
No, good. That would probably make her slightly uneasy, at least. But she does keep her attention 100% firmly on the Inquisitor. She is so far above and beyond everyone else in this room that it beggars the imagination. And if she wants to speak, then she will speak.
And she walks to there's a chair opposite on the opposite side of the table to where you're standing and sitting. Probably all standing, I don't know. Anyway, she sits down, and she has her back straight, her chest forward, and she carries with her an air of nobility. And she looks at each of you and says, "I am glad you have all decided to heed my call, and I know past experience tells me that my agents have, in most cases at least, failed to provide you with a choice. Rather, they have demanded that you follow them here. And I think I would be lying if I told you that you really had a choice, because you do not. You have been chosen by me and my council of trusted advisors as agents of the Inquisition. Do you know what this means?
Nope.
Francesca nods and says yes.
And
it is an honor.
Would I know?
No, you would not. If you don't know much about the Inquisition, you probably don't know.
Yeah, then Tim lightly shakes his head to indicate that no, he does in fact not know.
I think without any relevant knowledge skills, all you would know, or lore skills as they are called, all you would know is that the Inquisition is this big bad boogeyman who has immense power, holds immense power, and can do whatever that they damn please in the name of the Emperor. And you may have heard horror stories about the organization, but you don't know how it operates, and you don't know about inquisitorial agents.
I mean, I assume they keep order in the Empire.
Yeah, but you probably heard some pretty horrific stories.
If they keep order, they're the good guys in Tim's opinion. So.
Absolutely. Cool. What this means, my dear agents, is that you will, from now on, serve me as my enforcers, as my operatives, as we all seek to cleanse the Imperium of its many enemies. You will become a unit. You will operate as a unit, as a single cell within my extensive organization.
Medea looks like she has been dropped as the start of this conversation.
If Inquisitor Dex sees this, she doesn't make any indication that is the case. That is the very basics. What is going to happen? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Marquisa Dex. I am an Inquisitor, the Ordo Hereticus. I will be, henceforth, your commander, your leader, your patron.
Francesca looks completely unfazed by all of this. This is obviously to her, this is, I wouldn't say par for the course because it's never happened to her before, but it's something that you're prepared for in training. This can happen. The Inquisition will require our services from time to time. So,
yeah.
Tim looks like he's taking it all in, but otherwise he appears unfazed. It's just what you do.
If she in any way indicates that it is all right for the rest of us to speak, Francesca will, but otherwise no.
Okay. She doesn't quite yet.
Okay.
She motions For someone behind you, you can't see the person unless you look, of course. But she motions for someone behind her, and you hear the massive double doors that you were led through as you enter the chamber. You hear them close, and she continues to speak. She says, "We will get into the specifics of your new duties and your new powers, because you will, with your new bound duties within the Inquisition comes an immense resources. But first, I would like for you to get to know each other. Sister Francesca."
My Lady Inquisitor?
"You are with the Order of the Crimson Oath.
That is my honor indeed.
You have served the God Emperor faithfully through some missions already. 5?
I have been blessed to see action in 3 different campaigns.
3 different campaigns. I see that my intel is not quite as precise as it could be.
I do hope that I will live up to expectations regardless.
I'm sure you will, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But your area of expertise, could you describe that not to me, because I know it well, but to your fellow acolytes?
She looks a little confused, because that's putting herself forward, as in, it's almost like bragging. and,
Sure.
And it's pretty obvious that she finds that, well, she will obviously do it, but she needs to search for the words.
Sure.
And after a moment she says, I am capable in war, obviously. It comes with my training. The Adeptus Sororitas are all skilled warriors. I belong to the Order's Militant, meaning my equipment and my training is geared specifically towards war. Other than that, I was, I believe, known to my fellow sisters in under Sister Superior Juliana Septima in Squad Candenti, which is the squad I served in, as well, they thought it was humorous that I still see, they said still, I've never seen it any other way, that I see the good in man. And I strongly see the Emperor, the God Emperor, as I feel his love for humanity. We are created in his image. Consequently, he must love us. We must obviously strive to deserve that love.
Indeed. And I think you notice in her expression, her body language, the same sentiment that your fellow sisters quite often had whenever you express this.
Yes,
this will be quelled.
You will grow out of this.
Yeah,
eventually.
exactly.
When you've seen enough shit, you will stop believing that.
Yep.
But it's quite it's quite endearing.
You see
You're
that.
so cute.
Yes.
Indeed.
Like how the slimy girl looked at Medea with a, "Oh, you're so cute, you're uneducated."
There is nothing heretical in stating what she does. It's just
No.
It's just very much the sort of faith and the sort of belief you instill in young children, and she still has it.
Yeah.
It's like believing in Santa Claus.
A little bit, yes.
So the door opens. The doors behind you open, and in steps, as you can hear at least. You can't see them unless you look.
Medea's.
So Medea at least spots another squad of these stormtroopers as they enter the room, carrying between them, or dragging, I should say, a figure that is known or familiar to Medea. It is the robed figure. Only now Medea can see her. The hood has been pulled back, and she can see the person's face. It has been severely beaten. She looks like a boxer who's gone 15 rounds or so.
She looks like she ran through the Underhive and people didn't like her.
Yeah, pretty much.
She weren't good enough at ducking.
Nope. They drag her, and as they pass the rest of you can also see them, of course. And they drag her over to the Inquisitor, where they just let go of her. She slumps to the floor, and the Inquisitor doesn't even look at her. Instead, her gaze is focused on Accolon Quillen. Accolon Quillen.
Medea loses interest in her too, kind of, Oh, right, yep, garbage now.
You two have been brought here to serve me as my agent, as my acolytes. Why is that, do you think?
I think maybe I showed some measure of skill in assisting the Emperor's most holy servants, the arbitrators, on my home planet. Though I did not think that such an effort would be considered significant enough to merit my place among such noble company.
No.
Francesca actually looks at him with, sort of a measure of acknowledgement at that.
No, but your skills go beyond merely investigative ability. You are a psyker, are you not?
Accolon, his mouth twitches slightly. I am, yes.
A sanctioned psyker, of course.
Of course. I would rather be dead than unsanctioned.
Yes, you would.
That's actually a fact. You would be dead if you were.
Yep.
I think Francesca's thoughts are along the lines of, I think you would be, whether you'd want to or not.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure even Medea knows that Psychers isn't well liked by law enforcement, because even in the Underhive, if they should come across one, they would murder it.
Yep, absolutely.
So she has a duh look on her face.
I imagine Tim's primary connection to Psychers would be, what are they called, navigators?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yes, I imagine so, actually.
Navis nobile. They are completely different breed.
They are very much so.
And how are they looked upon?
With awe and reverence.
Well, in that case, that colors his view then.
Yeah, the navigators specifically, the astropaths, who are the communicators on ships. They're still looked at as ew, and also, why have your eyes been burned out? But but navigators are considered, well, they are literally nobility.
Yep, they are. But still, she looks from Accolon Timotheus. How do you want his name to be pronounced? Is it
The full name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Timotheus.
Okay, cool.
I think I put the stress on the the.
Yes, that's
Timotheus.
normal.
Okay, cool. Okay, so he looks at Timotheus, and she looks at. I think I said he, but the Inquisitor is a she. She looks at Timotheus and smiles, and you, Timotheus, what skills do you bring to the table?
I have been trained in planning, executing, and escaping assassinations, preferably at range, and I assume you have need of such abilities.
Medea looks like she actually understands that and smiles.
Some things you understand!
Yay! Words I understand! Ooh.
Excellent. You wouldn't be here if I didn't find a use for your specific talents.
He nods.
And finally, we have Medea.
Medea looks up. She was addressed.
Francesca looks towards this strange creature with this, okay, now at least I have a name to attach to the weirdness expression on her face.
You, Medea, are a difficult one to describe and to categorize. That's not really possible, I imagine.
She shrugs. Not really sure why she's there either. It's not that noticeable, she just shrugs with a
I think your abilities and your skill set will become apparent as you embark on your first mission. But for now, let me talk you through what's going to happen. Like I said, you are now inquisitorial agents under my command. You are assets for me to do with as I please. You are expendable. And the missions you undertake in my name will be lethal, and it is very likely that some or all of you will perish in my service.
Medea doesn't seem the least phased at that.
No.
She still just looks very curious.
It's also clear to everyone, I imagine, that this isn't a threat or anything. It's basically just a statement of fact.
But normally a person would go, "Ah, are you sending us out to kill us?" sort of thing. But Medea doesn't seem phased.
No, neither does Francesca, obviously. It's very much a matter of, yes, that's why we are here, to die for the Emperor. But she doesn't say so.
Again, yes. Again, more litanies through Aklon's head. It is better to die for the Emperor than live for yourself. And
yes.
like that.
You will, as my agents, be given the authority and the power of the Inquisition. Of course, there is a certain limit to what you can and cannot do as my agents, but you act in my name, and that gives you certain resources at your disposal. Just what that entails, I think we'll leave that for another time. For now, I have readied some chambers for you here in the Tricorn, in my personal little space. And she says little when actually she probably means one of the floors of the tower.
Yeah.
Medea doesn't know that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. How would she?
Yeah, how would she?
Yeah. And you will be given fresh clothes, should you so require, and you will have access to my training facilities for the duration of your stay here in the Tricorn, as well as my extensive libraries. And if there's anything you need while you are here, you need but ask. I do require that while you are here, you own your abilities and your skills. Train. You study, you learn from each other, and you seek to become a unit. This won't happen until you embark upon your first mission. I'm aware of this. It cannot happen. You cannot. The bond cannot be forged. But through your service in the field. But I require that you train together, that you interact with each other, you get to learn, you get to know each other.
Well, Francesca says, I believe I know where to start. She says and looks towards Medea.
Excellent. I will have... you will be escorted to your chambers. But unless there are any questions you have, this meeting is over. Do you have any questions for me?
Medea clears her throat and then goes, "What's interact?"
Inquisitor Dex actually chuckles at this.
It means having some kind of conversation without killing each other.
Well put, Sister Francesca, well put. Indeed it does. It does mean talking and being social.
Medea nods. Then that will be training. She is thinking about the not killing each other part, but she doesn't say that out loud.
Excellent.
Yeah, Medea has much the same thought. She sends a look to the statue, which I do assume is there of the God Emperor in all his glory and his magnificent armor and everything.
Of course.
And then up to Saint Drusus with this. There's a momentary fleeting look on her face of, I need all the strength I can get.
Saint Drusus being coincidentally the one with the small picker.
Oh dear, indeed. Any further questions before this meeting concludes?
Medea shakes her head. She's already forgotten most of the long words.
Tim clears his throat. Would we be able to request equipment?
To a certain extent, yes. I do wish to see how you fare in the field before I allow you into my considerable armory.
Tim nods. The only thing he has in mind is he needs to get a scope if he's going to perform at this apparently high level.
Of course, if the mission you undertake requires specific equipment, we will look into it on a case-by-case basis.
There is one further question concerning equipment. I am obviously barred from using equipment not officially and properly sanctioned by my order. Should such things become necessary, I believe ammunition is exempted, but other than that, if I should need equipment, will it be possible for Your Grace to facilitate the contact?
Of course.
Then that is all I need.
Excellent. I do believe that concludes our meeting, and I suggest you get a warm meal and rest for a bit before your training begins in earnest. And with that, she motions with her hand for the stormtroopers to escort you to your chambers.
Yes.
And I think we will end it there for tonight.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to start, actually.
Nope. And
we shall play again in 2 weeks.
Yep, we shall indeed, and that will be our first actual session in which you begin.
Yes.
We'll probably
4 hours,
have.
Right?
Yeah, we'll try the 4-hour setup and we'll see if that works. But
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that is all for now. So until next time, which incidentally is a fortnight from now. See ya.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.